Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle Ferguson and I'm the crochet pattern designer of Two Brothers Blankets. Today, I'm going to teach you how to crochet the alternating half double crochet back loop only, front loop only stitch. I really love this stitch. It has a great texture. It's super stretchy. There's no holes or gaps, and it just adds a little extra texture than your typical half double crochet, but it's really simple to do. If you can do a half double crochet, you can do this stitch. For this tutorial, I'm just using a scrap ball of yarn. I have some swish worsted here, and I have an H5mm crochet hook. I'll link both of those in the description. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, to start this stitch out, you'll need a starting chain of any number that you want plus 1. So I'm going to go ahead and chain 21 chains. All right, I've chained 21. I'm going to flip it over and work in this back bump of the chain. And from this foundation row, I'm just going to do 1 half double crochet stitch in the second chain from my hook. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the back bump of that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 stitches. And then I'm going to do 1 half double crochet stitch in each chain across for a total of 20 half double crochet. All right, I have done 1 half double crochet in each chain across for 20 HDCs. Now we're going to start our next row, and this is where we are going to start alternating our back loop only and front loop only stitches. So I'm going to chain 1, turn my work. I'm going to work into the back loop only for my first stitch. So if you look at the top of your stitches, you have 2 loops right here that make a little V. What you're going to do is you're going to be working in that back loop. So the back loop is what is the furthest loop from you when you're looking at it facing you, and the front loop is the one closest to you. So I'm going to work a half double crochet in the back loop only of the first stitch. So I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to insert my hook into that back loop only. I'm going to yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. So that'll be my first stitch in the back loop only. Now I'm going to work in my front loop only for the next stitch. I'm going to do 1 half double crochet in the front loop only. So yarn over, insert my hook, into the front loop only, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. So now I'm going to alternate. I'm going to do my 1 half double crochet in the back loop only again. And then for the next one, 1 half double crochet in the front loop only. And I am going to continue that all the way to the end until I get to my very last stitch. So back loop only, front loop only, back loop only, front loop only. And it's all half double crochet. It's just you're working in only 1 loop and you're alternating that loop. So I'm going to go ahead and finish out until I get to my last stitch, and I'm going to show you what I do with that last stitch. All right, I've completed that row. I'm ending with, I've got a back loop only on this last stitch from the second from the last stitch, and then I haven't worked into my last stitch yet. Typically, according to the repeat, I would do a front loop only half double crochet. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a half double crochet in both loops of that stitch. And I only do it that way because it looks so much nicer. The edges look so much nicer when I work into the back loop. If I were to do just the front loop only, let me show you. I'm going to have a big gap. See that, how much it gaps right there? Even when you turn it, you can see it. It just doesn't look as nice. And if you're doing rows and rows of this, it's just not going to look very nice. So I always end my last stitch in both loops. And it just looks a lot nicer, and it keeps the edges straight. Anytime I'm working in the back loop or front loop only, I always end my last stitch in both loops. So let's go ahead and do our next row. From here on out, our repeat is a row of that second, or is a repeat of that second row. So we're going to chain one and turn, and then we're going to start with a back loop only, half double crochet again, just like that second row. So I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to insert my hook into the back loop only, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Now I'm going to do a front loop, half double crochet. So yarn over, insert my hook into the front loop only, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat that, half double crochet back loop only, then half double crochet front loop only. And I'm going to do that all the way across. And then my last stitch, I'm going to work a half double crochet into both loops. So I'm going to do that now, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. All right, I've completed row 3. It's just a repeat of row 2, and I've worked my last half double crochet in both loops. And as you can see, it gives it a nice straight edge. A few notes about this stitch. It would work the exact same way in the round, always working a half double crochet foundation row, and then you start your alternating in the second, or round, it would be round, and then you would start your alternating in the second round. You could do it in a continuous round, but you're going to get that texture that you see here by turning every round. But yeah, it would work the same. You don't necessarily need to do a half double in both loops for your last stitch if you're working in the round, because you'd be working around, there's no like edge for it. But it would be worked almost the exact same way. It would just be your personal preference on if you wanted to work that last stitch in both loops if you're working in the round. So now I'm going to do a few more rows just to give this swatch some height, and then I'll show you how I decrease this stitch. All right, I've done a few more rows of this stitch. You can see it is coming out with a nice texture. It almost looks like a mini waffle stitch or mini post stitches with the alternating front and back loop only. So now I'm going to show you how I do a decrease for this stitch. I'm just going to chain one and turn my work like I'm starting a new row. And let's work a few stitches, regular stitches, back loop only and front loop only, just to get us to a good point. All right, to decrease, I'm going to do just like I would a half double crochet decrease or 2 together, but I'm going to do it in the loops that it's supposed to go in. So I'm going to start with a back loop only. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the back loop only, yarn over, pull up a loop. I have 3 loops on my hook. Now I'm going to yarn over again and insert my hook into the front loop only of the next stitch. And I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on my hook. And then I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to pull through all 5 of those loops. So now I've decreased by 1 stitch, but I'm also still alternating the back loop only and the front loop only. So let's do a few regular ones. Back loop only, front loop only, back loop, front loop, and now let's do another decrease. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the back loop only of the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook. Now I'm going to yarn over again and insert my hook into the front loop only of the next stitch. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Now I have 5 loops on my hook. So I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 5 of those loops. And so you can see it pretty much looks the same. It's a little bulkier than the regular stitches, but it pretty much gives it the same look and texture as the alternating half doubles. So let's try that one more time. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the back loop only, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, insert my hook into the front loop only of my next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. 5 loops are on my hook. Now I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 5. So it's really quite simple. And then I'm also, so I'm just doing 2. So I'm back to my back loop and front loop only, to where I can just continue my repeat after I'm done decreasing. So I'm doing my back loop, and then I'm going to finish out with 1/2 double in both loops. So there you go. It doesn't look very different. It blends in well. That's how I like to do the decreases for this stitch. And that's how you do the 1/2 double crochet, alternating back loop only and front loop only stitches. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. I would love it if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.